Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. So my name is Janet Gyatso, and I'm a professor here of Buddhist Studies at Harvard. And we're very happy to have the honor of having Khenpo Sodargye speak here tonight. This is actually the second time that he visited Harvard. He was already here in 2013, I believe. We just figured out it's been 4 years, and it's really wonderful to see him again. He was born in Kham in 1962, and he was ordained as a monk in 1985, so that means at the age of 23. And he was a student and at the monastery where he is at today, which is either called Serta or Larungar, which is an enormous, amazing monastery. It's a new monastery that was established by Khenpo Jigme Phuntsok, who was an amazing teacher. He's now unfortunately passed away, but he established this very, very large monastery. Actually, I don't have the date when that was established, but I think it was something like the 1970s? Oh, 1980s. Oh, we have some experts here. So it's not a traditional, it hasn't been there for a very long time, but it became extremely popular and still is today. And it's also especially amazing for the very large number of women who are there, nuns. So both monks and nuns are studying there. They have a very rigorous academic program. And the monastery provides a lot of leadership for the lay people and leading certain movements in especially things that I'm especially impressed with, having to do with care of animals and also trying to discourage Tibetans from wearing a lot of animal skins and doing things of that sort, in addition to the explicitly Dharma teachings. Khenpo Sodargye is extremely knowledgeable in Buddhist philosophy, and he has studied and published books on all kinds of topics in Buddhist philosophy, in Buddhist monasticism, in Buddhist logic, and in Buddhist Tantra. And he has several books in English, and he has a very, very large number of followers who are Chinese speakers, both inside China and in other parts of the world. So it's a great honor to have him tonight. And so we look forward very much to his teachings. And they will be translated by Mr. Tenzin Gelek, who is an expert translator who works at a Trace Foundation in New York City. So thank you. Welcome.
대랑 dani 다 chatran다 있나 togo shirdongo dalo longo Hafer ya bueno oya dandi dalondi chatrande so shirdongo lo ngama trapchik zo idan tane di longo ga ngaso chatrazu shiji ga chaz go chu tin ja yon re tan inayang ngingo ni yang ji shiro asra yon ji ma song e de da dalo lo tok ge tane chen namba go chu chon chong go ni trapchik shin no te ji chirta jin de da lang zhe ma xiong re de yin na de ga da 다 직직변화 달론을 진짜나 다 롬지가 되는데 참마다 냠도 그 조랑 시지가 다 디바든 양송들이 데라 도망이 있는데 서식 용원수시
Initially, we had a discussion about doing this talk at the earlier part of the year. Last year, we were planning the series of the lecture, but unfortunately, because I couldn't leave on time from China, and therefore we were not able to keep the schedule as planned at the beginning of the year. But then I'm happy that the organizers done so much work and put together this beautiful events this time in November. So I wanted to apologize initially to the organizers for not being able to deliver this talk at the beginning of the year as we promised.
tani ta nirtong parchir chaksamlo tari girgin chemo jili jamso kongo songwan randra tani nga amdin sama yongchig yomnyongre to gongit kamna to ngi ta girgin ga chachat tamakchig nyan
In 2013, I came to United States and I actually came to Harvard. At that time, I was so fortunate to participate in a lecture by Professor Janet Gyatso.
Tirkamna ngi samlo dana tani mitsendirang tani Harvard lobching tani ta lomo loma shigi song maradana chatso niga tari loma shigi korko songna yabore samir temre jugni.
Although I wasn't able to be a kind of long-term student, but I'm so lucky to be a student of Harvard for 2 hours, and I always cherish that moment.
Yena ngai ti lobchat tarong saro changanda tani girgin chimo khung zo de logon pamam jongne namthar gana kam khanro ishi sorgir ka tani tojote songando ti nana musur ga tarim khanro ishim sorgirnde ngama ta woyer ka tani ji jeba jan da tarigam chadena mando jinda na daga ta ligam jeran joggo tsonare ta timu galangiz ga tari khong mara tani injigir tang mara tani ta parchir loma tari jijib jornga ga tinanga tagan chatte nangso.
I remember vividly about the talk. Professor Janet Gyatso gave a talk on the life of Khandro Yeshe Tsoge through the life circle of Guru Rinpoche's Namtar Dorje. And Professor Janet Gyatso mentioned that Khandro Yeshe Tsoge had to do many things against her wish.
Tirkamna tani ta loma jamba tsogtela jibdrshi tani jibdrshi ne na loma chiksena ta ko kama parwo ir ka sachani yang pomezga tenjabya ne tsrshongwa ko sonse.
And then after the lecture, there was discussion, and different students were providing the input and feedback. One of the students said, I heard a similar story about a woman in Nepal.
Yang loma chiksena tani ta ngama tani Ameriki shone yang tari pomezga tenjin ne tsrshongwa tani sem haleba tari kyoni na ta jima tari konga semkam la ya nyajing duse.
Another student said, I heard a similar story about an American woman in the United States, and because of that, she was really kind of moved and sad to hear on and on about the plight of a woman.
다 지마 teni kong namba ga ta pansan rolang iti rolang gam jingje de cherezena ta tir kapsam khanro yishim sorgir ge na ta tare chigjanda manja ba ga ta legon gar mambep timozu shong yo reda yenayang semla tare ga ta chi ngera chembo shyo dungmur gam sonanga malhongai teni chi koran ga hwangr ketne na ta tarong teni mam thne ta ta nang chu shwe ki ta mam thne chwa ki gyola ta ngartin ka ma shon na ta woyer ka me mksar janzre ze ta khona be jimjik tenda she ka yog.
And then they had a conclusion, and people agreed in that discussion. Although Khandro Yeshe Tsoge faced many challenges and problems, but it didn't overwhelm her. But in fact, all the challenges that she had gone through did not stop her from really continuing her studies, her Dharma practices. And she was able to overcome these really tremendous hardship, and it didn't left her kind of long-term sad impact. And so Professor Janet Gyatso concluded that we can take from this experience that regardless of all the hardship that the Khandro Yeshe Tsoge went through, but she was able to transform these and able to kind of inspire, in some ways, many others to continue their practices.
Kapti ngala tari chorna ta nga maseksiga loptixchi chacho ni o ma thong ta tichu tongdong de tirang da tani ngala taga pandri chimbo ni shungwa chigda chirezena ta nga ma tari kharshogni tani chig matsig chiga girgan zui tani chuchut mambo share re tani taga girgan da loma niga tani ta chukzi urgur chikirtan go da tani nyam da ter tabi dolan shigyu tani chig korkup te tangwon shung sungwa tani na nge jima taga ta lolang harasongni na tani ta chi nga tsu sachana yang chi ta nangtang ge tani lojong shentang ge tani chi jimjig bada na loma timo yonre ta techola ti tari xar ka chur to de na jima nga tsu tari ta lojong shelig da yang na gergen khona ge chitsud mamboz ga shya de na tenda jiksa mare tani ta khabar lobcheng ge tani gergen da loma chegi gergen ge titso nyonyong ga songwe da na tani tari loma chog yang panchen tari dolang she na ha leba tari sema 다 판바 독금 제외역보 독거지 이다나 뜨니 하라송 당이 다리 디트르트도니
I had a really deep impact from participating in this discussion, and I can sum up kind of the two major impact I had from participating in Professor Janik-Yatsu's talk and discussion. First of all, what really kind of most touched me was I've been teaching for many years, but at this kind of Janik-Yatsu's discussion, that I'm amazed about this kind of level of the discussion between the professor and the student, between the professors, kind of the free atmosphere, where, unlike in Tibetan setting, the teachers and the student have this equal, if you like, opportunity and the equal treatment in terms of exchanging views. And the teacher doesn't seem like preoccupying the entire discussion, but giving kind of many rooms for the student to come forward and share their view. And this really left me a great impact. And as a result, when I went back, I talked to my colleagues and students saying, in Harvard, they have this amazing approach in doing research and studying, and we really need to follow that. The teacher kind of occupy or preoccupy less time, and they encourage the student to come up with the discussions and the ideas. So we try to adopt that from that lecturer at our center there.
tani shokchige yana ngasu boyer yana jaga tani chig ta sachag jambare ge to ta lama dana tani chig ngongum kheba zur namthar je da namthar tela thongchong zu shekna yana yang tela da jimjik sheni na tani 다 지금 로종 그 전탕 첨부도 요노 nga 다리 tani kurtuk saras ngeso.
And the other impact I had was when we traditionally studying biographies of different lamas, we really do not pay that much of attention. But from your teaching style and approach to the discussion, I realized, studying biography is really important. It has many aspects in it if we do it properly, and that kind of gave me that new idea how we should approach studying biographies.
다 대랑 저 지금 샘컴 같은 단어 tani 지금 맞소 오게 나왔던 그 짐직을 걸거 tani 다 넘버 졸라 tani 지 같이 용용스 지진.
So today, our topic or the subject is about how we really deal with the challenges in modern time.
다 정말 가상 대랑 그 디럽도 엄흑서 잔즈 그 송요래 셔당 아촌로아 미 로르지 그 당샤나 tani 다르가 야나 로 동창 몽지다 지금 소화가 차지 엄마모다 대진도 지금 로아미 서투때 양은 지금 대잠즈 뭐 메게 대당 잡아가 지금 찬르그 럭서대 양 대잠즈 다림 통보 마인게 되는 가서 그거 뭐당 미와르가 그 제라대 양 담습 된자 메니나 랑랑 소수고가 소화기는 로 동청 몽보즈 송요래.
And this century is a very unique century because if we look back over 1,000 years of human history, in terms of our living standard in the past is much lower. The innovations and all this creation or the creativities are not as much as we experience these days. besides the scientific discovery is not as good as now, and as well as the kind of communications among and within the kind of human society is not as close as we used to, as we have now.
다 롭chấp 가지 쓰는 잠mol은 것당나 여러 알자 첨부도 용네 맞수 민 초알 티르당다나 대전도는 로종 시르당다나 다 전거 드니 지 연등근 초아티 잔다 만자바 근 여러 첨부도 용네는 드니 매 샘컴 되라요 중원당 만자바 그지 라라라 다리 직적다나 라라라 지 동체르 나타나 드니 라라라 지 랑라 이치 마요 바거네나 다지 자당만장 네츠 몽즈 치료인데.
And then if we look at the past few decades, we experienced this amazing transformation, the great change because of the scientific discovery and because of the change in education and so on. We experienced this kind of most rapid social change. We're all going through that. As a result, the change also impact at education level, how people live their kind of regular life. The change also creates many opportunities, at the same time many challenges too. These changes bring fear, doubt, and people's kind of questioning people's basic confidence due to this really rapid change. And this is what we go through now.
나랑 응군이 있나 아더니 달로 총총 파치를 논이시 작섬 야르면서 그 랍도 쇼에 더니 저다 공부가 나네 또 저 거근시단 차트시에너래 또 머스르 근능 그 초아대 양의 대잠 그냥 요 말에 레다는 달로 차시즈기네 뇌양 즉 사차 소소다는 뭐뭐 저가 등지 있지런데 맞수 뭐 남거도 그 샘컴 그 다지 등을 지기도 then harsho in na drag no sugar in na drag ndadong manja mo zda ta nyenje de ge ji jima den yir ko nde ta ji shin zigzheng ge de jin de na nga zu can ge lexer de na ta ji karson de na dir bu jan gang dang yang ma zha ge ngo ne phe je yon de yin na yang shi de ni can ge ta lexer ge to zi da na neng ge sem kem ge yer wa ni ka to mem ni me 당어수 직된다 직된 목소리라서 저야 그 삼기고 그 다땅요.
I have been a monk since I was 23. I spent most of my life in a monastery, studying and teaching. So I really had a limited exposure in terms of ordinary life. But at the same time, in the past few years, I had the opportunity to visit many people, had close communication with the kind of communities. And when I meet many people and talking to them, I realized that the change I just mentioned about the educational change, the scientific change, and so on, including this rapid economic development, of course, it brings more opportunities and improvement at a certain level. At the same time, it also brings same amount of anxieties and stress and so on. And this is, I think, experiencing both in the East as well as in the West. There are, kind of common challenges between the Eastern and the Western world. Some of the kind of challenges are very unique to Pacific regions.
단 더스타위 소학 목소리 아주 그는데 단 인군이 상록도나 운에 그 샘큼 그추 다 저대가 그러나 가선대나 드네 상동 공진도 소인난 자가 대 마연바가 드네 지 생각도 이제 드네 생각나나 대라 니바트모 마연바지요 드네 지다 동반이 그스타와 저기 드네 나추가 나나 된자야 요지 다티 가르테다리 나춘디 로종시 마음용에 있니나 랑랑소수 셈데 간제인 셈그 모델라 사로즈도 되니나 되는 직된 감그 등을 모즈도 랑식다리 진조주 다 디모가다리 촌나요.
I actually feel that if we really need to approach to our inner peace, if we need to really understand and improve the quality of our spiritual life, there are many ways we can do that. We're going through meditation, practicing Tibetan or practicing Tantra, meditation on emptiness. There are many Buddhist approaches in terms of how to reduce stress and deal with challenges. And I feel that using these kind of techniques and studying the nature of the mind would be very useful in terms of really overcoming these fears and so on.
So, 샤르쇼크 허나 곰바 쪽는 거 때문에 지금 냠렘바 단도 소인나 시무부 다때 환절다 된자가 지금 할레바가 차진 여보요 말했다 옛나양 샘큼 그 제된데 지금 잔다 만져가서 명고연제 때 명조원도 지금 통충 명절 원슴 거 잡아지데 때나 다 대란더니 길근다는 엄마세나 지마 그 하르쇼크 다지 드네 곰바이나 자가 추바이나 자가 냠렘바 탐치 보고 난그 셈거 드네 지 쳬던도 졸라 로종다 짐직시나 할레베 야보레
In Asia, in eastern regions, you see many monasteries, the Dharma practitioners. A lot of these have this amazing amount of the peace, or inner peace. At the same time, you see them in terms of a material development. They're not that great. But when you approach them, they really do possess kind of a genuine inner peace. And especially for the practitioners going through many years of practices, you can obviously see them, you can almost like observe them, how they live peacefully and harmoniously. And I think it would be very useful for you really to investigate how these Eastern practitioners maintain really calm mind in kind of very turmoil situation. And it would be very useful for you to really investigate how do they do that. By doing so, you really have to do research in Tibetan Buddhism. You have to research in terms of how they cultivate this kind of attitude, which really enable them to maintain calm and so on. So for you, it would be really useful to go there and investigate and study.
shirnanga tsu mar namgo tsuwa de karsang teren go mamangbo ji ki zego nje ta yenyer le ugar tabazir go gzer yenyer le ugar tabazir go gzena ta tarnga yana nga tsu perna amerikana tenja yone meshi na mangare ta zakang yana zakang chig na so ter yindang ga zakang te ma to ma zakang jang na so na te zama zama mu ke tane zakang ti na so na koron ga chodma de yana yindang ga chodman de ma to jeme ya choma jamba zama mu tane ji chogbo za ka cha sha na chogbo de ya ji nychi da ni ma to jeme na ni jamba tamche da tuk mndo na 다 렁근 코리데 땅크리다 렁근 코리 코나 막도 되면 잔나 다리 덴지 다리 다 년도 그 롱스쇼주 화능면 디모 몸보스가 요건데 다 있나요 다 당성 있나 다 나츠 렁거 렁라야라 지 냥도 게데나 되네 지 렁거 나근 코리데레 양 코리데라 그 판선 다지 냠뇽len게다 판선데라 로종시데 되네 런거 초아데 때라 야르타바시 견도 오늘 지금 샘큼 거 타다 다 야라 지금 니바 돈적 거 터모 마음이 탑츠르긴 거도.
So I feel one way of really overcoming these challenges in terms of the fear and so on, you really need to get out of your comfort zone. I've noticed and observed many people like to use the same thing, like going to the same restaurant, eating and ordering the same dish, meeting the same people, playing around with the same idea. But if things are changing, and if we wanted to cultivate the level of like a calm and overcome challenges to face change, what we need to do is we first need to get out of our comfort zone and really kind of experiment things, new things, new life way, and this will really be a good source of testing your mental capacity, and this will really put yourself at a challenge. And this, I think, in the long term, would help you to really deal with the changes and the challenges.
Shirdan ta ngotsu tani nabshok ringni da tani sharshok ta ngi nabshok da sharshok zo jona yang gyan chenro sare ta yena yang de sharshok ko na ta ji yayer da na boyer la sok ba ga de sacha mongbo ji ko ringni de dona tani nabshok america da na tani yinji la sok ba ga sacha mongbo zo ko tani choa ga gyabjong da choa ga kirtang mo ga tani dewa da dingkur parche wax chi gen sare 다 옛날에 이 뭐가 가르칠 거죠. 다 지금 저녁은 조스탕데라 남사다고 그 차버서 요카.
When I observe the differences between East and the West, maybe I will say a difference between Chinese, Tibetan, or the American and UK and so on. Generally speaking, I think I feel that we all almost like experience the same thing. We all desire for happiness. We all try to avoid suffering. There isn't that kind of great differences in terms of what we want. But the differences I think that I observed is mainly in a kind of cultural background. The way we approach to things, is different because of our gap in cultural background.
당선 그 르니 데라 nga tasir zikare ojena ta sharshok ko 르니 데가 지 파르치르 야라 지 주박 조 시지 데네 지 너shok ko 르니 데 망보즈 그네나 다 가바 조 체레제나 다 당선 ngasu boyeri 난자 야예리 난자 로마 몽보즈도 너shok ko 롭자 소소나 송데 데네 코랑 다 바라 겸낭 알로가 지롱데 데네 지 상마도 다래 유면영 그 무면영 그지 다 가바코나 동에다는 지 뜻이 시가지 다 전다 만자반들 된다다리 차려네.
One of the differences in terms of culture I observed was in East, people just like to be obedient. They wanted to follow and they do not want to lead, if you like. Whereas in the West, there's this very strong culture of critical thinking. And sometimes a little bit overcritical, how they, like see things. I observed Eastern student going to the West to study. When they come back, they become critical of everything. That's my one of the observations.
다 당선 ngaso tene chobong gare dan paman gare na tene rang puchde 다 납쇼가 로종아 납삼 건데 납쇼가 로종데 쇼 강타네 양나 할레바건 티 창화다나 무슨 속바인 건데 옛나야 다때 로종아 손에 지마 다리 다지 페나 파마라 다리 섭거리 있난자 게르건라 섭거리 있나란자 대전도 가수 쇼르진 르니가 타다 정마다 할레바 다리 직접 어떤데 뭐베 리화 예화즈들이 데네 너쇼가 로종 소나 다 지마다리 가수 곰바단 가수 소르긴거 다 르니데라 다리 갑바 침부땅네다 다 가수라 깔리 커보 용거래 제이다나 다 뭐몽보지가 똑바요 건데.
And because of that, I know many parents are now starting to really express concern in terms of sending their children to the West. In the past, it's like everyone's dream in Asia to send their children to a higher education institute in the West. But now, when they observe, when the kids coming back to the East, they become very critical about traditional lifestyle. They're critical about Eastern religion and so on. The parents are now really showing concern about the Western education value.
다 그냥 제 넘버가 지금 내 너쇼가 지금 다 파만 가리고요. 보고도 저 보여를 군바에나 자겠더니 지 롭자잔다 잠바야 하름가 거라. 다 있나요? 대초 할레바가 드네 주점 종켄다나 드네 락소대야나 락소대 지 다른 코리 니진 저거는 그 락소이다나 다양 지 그런 수 샘컴대야 잔다 다른 저거요.
And then for the Western parents, I know some of the Western parents send their children to school in East, in Asia. And So when they send their children to the East, they also notice the children are changing their behavior. They're showing change in terms of how they communicate and relate to their immediate environment and so on. And some of this change, they're really welcomed by their parents.
Shirton go dansang the nashok lokso the zamolong lokso go da zawan jen go. Dinang yang the America lokso the da Jacob Mamboji go pesta sa shekyo. When na chen namba go ju chokchak da naram Mambo zundoa loptip ganana. That day na tening a chogo dari ta na the Janak dan dimog loptip ganana ya. 나 ngama tenja yon mare ta no shukr lakso go jisang da kan re zong ne na tin zamo lang remji da re shikjin da te go ya ka.
Then the Western education, especially the American education, it become the almost like a root or the basis for many Asian countries. They especially use American education as a model for the education system in the East. So I've observed that they're importing a lot of the aspect of the Western education to the Eastern education as well. Like in the Western education, you play a lot of important discussion on animals and so on. And the Easterns are now really copying that too.
다 니나양 다리 네 너쇼거 담 탁쇼랑lik 제르고나 자가 머네 다리가 각동 랑lik 스타반데 있나 시적 근로와 민 페이지가 타단 드네 마츠 그거 랑커 먼저가 탁거 샤박 동주 르한다 할레바가 그거 가르침보고 송데 따따 드네 롭자 소소나이나 드네 다지 게르근이나 자가 드네 장가 스당 쓰이나 야라 gaba 지 지니스 동주 원디 스타와데 nga ranguni inna tariga te haleba tene ngomsir chego samgayo.
Among the Western education approach, one of them I'm really most amazed was the critical thinking, or sometimes just like a critiquing everything. Of course, like the critical thinking brings a lot of benefit for social improvement and social development. It's really important for a kind of general part of the education. But at the same time, this critical thinking and the critiquing, the attitude, also like what I'm a little bit puzzled was they become very critical about their teachers. The student, starting being very critical generally about their teachers. And these aspects are also, I'm a little bit puzzled.
옛나야 대랑 인터넷 접삼지스가 드네 chernamba tene lopcha chego girganda lomare mawo wana chen nambi kapshogdana tene tsig chigayana tene zamolana tar shikchin de gyachin boz tepgayore de endida tene tariga ta ji loksu ndoga namba de janda gergona gergyo marda yenna ngsu tene jimjig shik gbaq tonda nimode tene gbaq nartan drona jemtsin yon ta ti garchen bore ma to zema dansan tene lochon mambo지가 되네 janla gba tongje 되네 gba 다 shugriba ma to zemana kozong 되네 sherebion narmayo samare devjindana ji rigba ga shade keronde nelik tonda mamtanji mo zgdana da ngatsu darin chowa ga chokum ngosumdum tongond.
So here many of you are teachers, researchers and students, and so I wanted to bring up this subject about the critiquing or the critical thinking. I think the critical thinking is a very powerful tool when it's followed by reasons, logics, and so on. Of course, it's very useful. I think what the critical thinking does to a certain student, especially some Asian student, is without relying on the reasons and the logics and truth and so on, and they merely use that a way of denying or criticizing your own kind of culture and so on. And this really brings kind of the destructive side of the critical thinking. Especially these, I think, students or researchers, when they criticize the other's value, they do so without kind of being impartial, without being grounded or well-researched. They merely kind of use that as a mean to attack other values, and that I found a little bit kind of disturbing.
당인들라 점직시는다 시집건데 단 탁시랑을관도 드니 다 디름 니시가나 드니 디름 니시나 쇼노즈데 디름 니시나 쇼노운디 땅 아춘 로아 먹어 드니 야 카쇼 모 저도 나바잔들 기르쇼거제 다 땅상 아추 데 워이르크 사차가 그 존노도 소이나 다치 인지 kat 모스 그 시기온 말에 다 그런 소리 야이 갈라칸섬레 시고온데 되니 야이 갈라칸섬레 시네나 다 직텔라 되니 기롱오다 납쇼 것도 따와가 또 람모이 기롱에 다 지 회나 추거 따와이나 자가 조징 거 따와이나 자 참마다 되니 거바 코낙동 거 요래 옛날에 거바 동주가 되니 닐그담만 탐바 모스다나 당소 되니 다 리베르시아데 기롱나 되니 닐그담만 탐바 모스도 그런 수제가 요래.
And so for the 20th century, I think the education and especially the critical thinking is really important. We really need to pay attention how this impact other cultures and so on. One thing I observed that many, or not many, some Tibetan youngsters who read the Western literature by Chinese medium, many of them even don't read the original work, but they read the selective works that are translated into Chinese. And then they use this kind of limited information to really criticize their cultures and values without backing up with the reasons and logic. And that I felt like one of the disadvantages of using this notion of critical thinking a very partial way.
ngātsū mī lōr jīga nāna xārtō kiāng mōngō sō tārī shiong yō kōnzhē. Tē yōzhēn dāg nēlik dāmbam tāmbā gā tāgār mōngdā kiāng mōngō sō tōg tōrlōg shē kōnzhē. Tē ngē tē nā tāgār tākshō rāng lōg kēpan rē sāng.
And one of the, of course, on top, there are advantages for critical thinking when you apply them properly. One of the, I think, immediate advantage of using the critical thinking is related to the level of the creativity and innovative. When you use the critical thinking properly, it also overcomes the, I think, issues and information that are not properly researched. And so using the critical thinking, it helps to the quality of the information. But of course, there are advantages for that.
다 당성 맞추 네 오죽 그러나 출력이 난 자가 드네 대추다나 드네 딱난 거 추다나 다다 마연 바가 지 탁천 거 추래 단 더초데라 드네 지 쇼소소 거 거바 몽동 건데 티 거바도 지양 동거다나 베나 대추데 점바인지다나 대전도는 지 탁천 거 추데 다 집가 마인데 디모고네 서 동거다나 요네나 때 ngātsū tēr tāwī gābat tōngi tēlā ngōne gā chī tā gāpsu shī nā yāng chōki rē, tōg nēlik tān tāmbā rē. Rē tā nā tā chī ngātsū wōgir nāng tāng gā tā rī gā lōzhōng gā gyāb zhōng yihwā zhōg tā shī nā zhī yinī nā tā chī gābāk tōngi tē tāng nā tēv zhīn tā nā ngātsū tā rī gā tā xiabāk tōngi tē yāng nā tā chū tī lōr jī tā gyāb zhōng tā nā nyāng lēn tē tsū mā shī nī nā yāng dī zhīg tā rī kā lē yō rē.
Another, I think, observation that I had with the critical thinking and how it's used is they're using it improperly. These days in Tibet, people are very critical about Buddhism in general or religion in general, and they really kind of attack the pure vision dharmas, the Tangna, and they're attacking the Derche. And they also kind of question the validity of the Mahayana teaching. And if you really rely on correct reasons and logic and correct fact, and if you critique these, we really welcome, because this will really improve the quality of the teaching in general. But the main problem is people who are critiquing these subjects have a very limited knowledge about the subject itself. They have a very limited knowledge about Buddhism and the Tantrayana and so on. And then just taking this huge challenge of critiquing that. And as a result, the quality of the critiquing itself become questionable.
네, 가르테 ngātsu jimji ga chota 디 짐직데 다 돈당 멈텀 바즈 있네나 드네 짐직 쉐바 볼라양 남직거 내ርከ나 깔레 몽보 용제 드네 짐직 쉐누 점제 되야나 단 조아미 마수 초와가 쳤대야나 더 판발 개 첨부준 정도나 할레비다리 가보레 nga마 안디 너쇼금 버는 바지거 드네 다 샤츠음거 버는 바가 샤츠음거 이게가 나나 덴지 네서스 고송 치르제나 쿠 조다리 샤츠음거 이게데 샤르티아 로로도르제가 더 스탐거 더 아망문전 제근데 게테요너레 다 쿠소도 다 테소에 근데
So it's so obvious that as a researcher, we have to look at the result or the benefit of one's research, right? And when you really conduct an improper research, the consequences is really bad. It will bring more questions. It will really kind of affect the actual value of your own work and your own view if you don't follow the proper procedure for research. And the result is also bring more harm than benefit. I remember talking to or reading a research thesis of a PhD work. The subject was the person is doing research on the Chanka Rebel Dochi's this experiential experiential song of the view on emptiness. That the Chanka, who was the tutor to one of the Qing emperor, right? And so he was doing the research on this particular subject.
그 장자가 디 송디나나 측즈요래 대체세 언제나 그
따따랑리 로스르가지 직접 된접 소달라 진비 나와랑랑의 랑수르잖아요. 겨제라 진징 소르나 집지 아마 유진레데나 라라랑랑의 요크드마데
그거
난극마 빅비샤시드마야 아마르가모데 쪼동고
티모즈요래 다 때다리 그거 점직이 있자면 그런데 다쿠 소미가나 다 장자로로도르진도 더 직동 등자 더 접든 노래 되니 코 다리가 달로 던체가 왔다 다리가 비즈그 되니 콩거 디릅디 원더시나 되니 로총 가레가 되니 다 거기라 전제기도 파르치르지 다리가 다 르그다나 대전도는 지금 zogla sogbaga te gerjega sorgin gajita te gapsaida lochong cheka tene semchen mongzo sok yotse tene changtya amate tariga ta te sema masong edana te ko zatsang na ga za zanzang yong edana ta prochi ka ko zeidana ti ta tsigde tenje tarigam jerindo.
So I've noticed that the thesis, in the thesis there's a very famous particular verse written by Chanka when he was expressing his experience of the emptiness. And I'm just phrase. Chanka was saying that these days, many young scholars, when they really try to prove something by really neglecting the most important part of your the subject of the negation, and basically they're directing their research for the wrong reason and the wrong understanding. As a result, in the Chanka said, mother, Ama, is like almost now going to run away. So, so the person explained this literally. And he said, these days, many young people are killing animals, abusing animals. Chanka's mother saw that, and she was so shocked, and she escaped. So they literally translate, or they explain this word by word without really truly understanding what Chanka is referring to.
다 시집거티 나온데 있나 테네 스통아 마임바가 농아서도 그 거지 다 거근도스 다 카테 다리 스통아 마임비 농아 양거 와서도 거정네 있나 임 스통아니 아마르감모 그 자라 탐치 키피 임 스통아니티 다리 다 주거는도 고잖아 다테 랑어르니로 제kin으로 동거던거 다 스통아니 그 다리 돈샤는즈레다 있나야 테네 짐직반가리 된다랜도 다 때인디 그가 당 맞추고 더 마온 이급나 가서 보긴 나던 그 도바 제사데 강레데니나 드니 조 짐직 고름 그 쳤던 더 가서 다 낭돈데라 드니 골록선데 손에 있나 드니 다 납쇼고 있는 자 할쇼고 있는 자가 때 할레바가 다가 종르게 წერ고나 자가 드니 지 네서 무스라즈레 상거요.
In reality, what Chankya is referring to is he's talking about emptiness. The entire subject was about emptiness. And he's saying these new practitioners were really busy at denying the appearances without really truly realizing how this appearance formed, without really investigating the source of the appearances. This is the nature of the intrinsic nature and so on. They're so busy with really attacking the appearances without truly understanding how these appearances are formed. As a result, emptiness is becoming further from their mind stream. So that's what Chankya is referring to. He wasn't referring to animals at all or mother. So that's how people easily misunderstand the concept of the teaching, especially the researchers, without really properly understanding the subject. And therefore, what I wanted to say here is when we engage in research, we really need to know the subject well. We really have to become ourselves as expert on the subject. And unless if you really kind of do the research at a superficial level, it will bring loss to all of us. And also it will be such kind of a waste of time.
다 다른 아주 마오하나 점직시나 조어도 다리세너를 대개진이 라소바가 송지가 남터 걸걸 다 가서 만디 유나 저작을 법자가나야 길근 가래가 드니 칸로마 드니 세람 칸로 드니 위잠 칸로가 남터 다리 점직시가 배 톱대 역보창도 드니 게제니 드젠잖아 가만 직면랑바가 드니 랑남 다리가 드니 점직시요인데 다때 배 역보래 대당 자와가 아주 드니 지금 탐문거 다 르니거 거다나 탐문거 베나 오마다나 차드마다나 몬바 드니 상응이나 상응 것도 쉬고 다 지르되거 거그 된자이나 다 점직시나 다리 할레바 여보리.
And so as we talk about the research, I'm really impressed with the Janet Gyatso's approach to the Tibetan studies. She done many years of research on Namtars. She did also research on Jingmi Limba's autobiography as well. And recently I went to Chicago, and another researcher done wonderful research on the Sera Kanto, the Wis Kanto. And this research, it seems more like a holistic approach, and more kind of a comprehensive. So that's something I think we really need to learn from Janet and these wonderful scholars. I think it's a good idea that we engage in research on general subjects such as the Uma, the Tibetan, Uma, the Buddhist kind of study on views, philosophical views, the logics, and Vajrayana, the Tantra. We can study them. That's no problem.
다 옛날에 때 맞소 보여 그 추구나나 근데 처익 맞췄 다 냠랭 그런 거래요. 단 데나 드니 다 점직시나 인치민치미가 다지 왕 토야다나 대전도는 첫 원던 로야 다 된자 마시나 그 지금 디스 다리 여보 말했삼 지 응알라 때랑 다리 응알라 된자위 스타탄 요 드니 양치 딱 까망한데 후나 납속 자거든요. 길근 가리게 되나 딱 상학대 상제 요 말했더니 그 상학 같더니 종 가리라 때는다나 타कर 그 셋죠나 만직사메그 다네 복 다리가 나추대 상고 저근데 대지 야보 말해지다나 된자 다리 송근데 당이 그런 솔라더니 냠처 그 처드제네 왜나 길근 가리가 되니 그런 거 출lực 따와 있는 자가 대전도는 참는 그 고르모 간제 요니난 자가 로카체 요니나 다 대소다리 상વાર 고근데가 당 아주 보여 그 되니 냠는 그 척거 건데 소 있나 다 딜리장 다리가 상વા레네 된디 아주 추데라 판선다리 준족거 제데나 되니 상학가 가르야 요네 다 좀바 보근에나 텔라 사마야 제키는다 되니 야야야제이다나 다 담도 종에다나 디 거요데 대소 있나 지 잡접 마존나 다리 되니 아주 아주 다리 출력 런탕데 디스 냠조주 닌카요.
So when I look at how we should approach on researching Tibetan Buddhist teaching or the Buddhist teaching in general, I think if you wanted to engage more holistically, you really need to study this subject. When you engage in a research on a particular subject, you really first hear the teaching itself. There are many commentaries. You really read the commentaries, study the commentary, and within the commentary there are different level of commentaries. You have the general kind of commentaries, literal commentaries. Then you talk about the experiential commentaries, the murti. And to receive some of this experiential commentary instruction, you have to receive empowerment. You have to really agree to observe certain commitment. These are a kind of a prerequisite for going into a much deeper level of the study. And it would be really, I think, useful for the researchers to think about, studying them much more deeply, studying the commentaries, hearing the instructions, the pithy instructions from the real teacher. And this will bring your research much better quality. And unless, if you just do at artificial level, I think your result also would be a little bit artificial. That's my view. Recently I heard, while I'm touring United States, some researchers questioning about why should we keep Vajrayana as a secret teaching. We really need to reveal this, and we need to remove this secret from the coding, because the only way you can study it properly would be by removing this secrecy. And I had really some doubt and question over this view. This is because engaging in this very kind of authentic teaching, there's certain commitment, both from the researcher point of view as well as from the other people, need to be observed. Because when you read at the end of the commentaries and these pithy instructions in Vajrayana teaching, the writers request confidential. At the Samaya, you do not show these people who do not receive commitment. These are the requests from the authors, and that's what we have to observe. Keeping secrecy is important for even personal reasons. In the West, we do not share our salaries. We do not easily tell how old we are. There's certain kind of minimum privacy that we all strive for. Likewise, the Tibetan Buddhism, especially Vajrayana, need to have this minimum privacy too. And if we do not observe that and expose this to anyone, then it will bring more harm than benefit for research result.
Shirdango, Tangatsu, Boba Sacha Yang Tere, then Stokeva on Yamlimba, then Shapaton is Tokeva on Yamlimba Nikas Tava de Naminda, don't Kijayori. Yamlimba de Kunonzo, Taknang Dana, Tenichi, Yichi Kuna and go Jokon. Then is Tokeva to Gentela, Junju Gitana, Tenichi, that Delatari, Gabaton Gitana, Teni, that Tarwan Pingu, Teni, Dan Jamandra, Teni, Kinamba Bokuchuganana in. 대지 강나라니 요래더니 똑개와서 그런 연등거야 바로라 가바동 적소에 냠렘바가 그 랑가 냠렘바 조이다나 다티 똑개와테 솔라 베다리 짜레 베다리 고랑 손다 르다왔잖아요.
Even within the Tibetan Buddhist followers, there is a constant contradiction and a disagreement between the Tokewa, the debaters, or people who kind of only engage in debating, versus people who are engaging in serious practices. So there's a kind of a disagreement between the debaters and the practitioners. The first one only kind of interested in critiquing others, really try to critiquing others' interpretation, whereas the practitioners are more interested in the experience, the result, the realization. So this kind of disagreement is also obvious within the Tibetan Buddhist tradition.
당가 따스르가 근데 출력되라 점직 시대다 니버거 출력들이 야종 시기다나. 근데 추딘 롤릭되라 따리 존적 시기도 가르침보래. 그러나 예실 출력금 개발소거서는 공거 추되라 다 점직 시내 zonte 인치 민치메가 하대 다리 켈렌고 아담 개발 모보스 그때 생각도 근데 코랑추다 하제 그런 직된 쉐바보스 오늘 티케 마블나 다지 코랑추 추되라 런탄체 온 말에 점직 시기 자 돈들이 온 말에 생각도
And in my view, when we engage in the religious research activities, we really need to understand the background of the religion or the subject itself well. And we also need to understand the system of that particular knowledge through that tradition. And when you understand the system, the background well, then naturally you will pay more respect to the subject. I heard among the Christian or the scholars who are researching on Christianity, and they say one of the prerequisites of that research is the person at least to show respect to the creator, or they accept the creator. And when you do that, then the person would show a genuine respect to the topic and the subject, and then they will engage in the research much more kind of holistically. And I'm asking the same thing for the Tibetan Dharma researchers or scholars.
Also, the when a catchy children doesn't jama, I am teaching zilk jamban of song. Cheres and a kurang kulando, kulanjin, the kulando ganona, lega nibatan, lega gubaganona, naranga chu de latani, to lokta dana, tak nopa she took de latari, catch shamkayona, mutte tari, ta marapsat jernaya, the chudam tambayan zidana, ta kurang to jungle kabnaya, monsum, saro songe. 또 임비 점선거 당선 잠모는 거 못함저거 다 같이 그 줄라 다르게 점직시에는 콜라 포등 조조가 또 측단을 좀 익적고 말해.
Among the Islamic studies, I think the Quran mentioned in the 2nd and the 9th chapter that people who are critiquing or criticizing the Quran or the Islamic teaching, and especially, they do so without showing any respect, then it's the duty of the followers to really defend your teaching. It mentioned clearly in the Quran.
양 그러나 다리 야그러와는 있나 양 그런 거 다리 줄을 거다 야그르디 기네 zonte 때 저 야그러와가 주바인 다대 마음 바가 그 주바 잠바 지금 나초라 다리가 턴나 말해제 되니 다지 야그르 그 추가 점주 쏘고 때요나 다 야그러와 코로마 또 되면 잠바가 머르다나 잠바가 뭐초 다리가 되니 다 가스 다리가 셰코는 말이 된지 욕조리온지.
Then among the Hindu studies, the scholars, the Indians really pay a lot of attention on their subject. So the Indian scholars themselves pay a lot of attention to what others read about the Indian topics. And when there are some kind of mispresentation of the information, they immediately defend and attack and critique. I forgot one last sentence from the previous discussion. Because of that, in the Quran teaching, the chapter 2nd 9 talks about defending and attacking the infidels, people who doesn't follow. It created this kind of atmosphere where less people, less non-Islamic scholars study about Islam. Because in the Quran it says it's the responsibilities of the followers to defend the teaching. So that's one extreme example. And then I talk about among the Indians, the Indian scholars to really defend their subject well.
그러나 가서 보바가 다리 몽보스 초 몽보스들 야그르나 송어. 레타는 가서 보바가 그 출릭데 야그르와라야 그 반선 제답고요 말에. 야그르와가 출릭데 가서 보발라야 니 용시를 막 도제면 그치가 다리가 제가 온 말에. 그 그런 쪽 조르겐랜드.
So we know many Tibetans now live in India, and they have constant, almost like a contact with the Indian people. But there's very little exchange in terms of studies. Not many Indians study about Tibetan Buddhism. Not many Tibetans, really pay attention on the non-Buddhist traditions in India. It seems like the contact is very limited.
다 당선거 롭천거 로만 가리가 다 줄리가 다 그좀 지나 발칠 베나 가제 줄리가 박사잔 말아 박사는 말에 단다 대지 발칠 박사나 되니 니바요차 마크세 용사래 되니 야그르 줄리가 와거더니 족샤잔면 족막사들이다 다대 족샤 산나라는 족사야 족샤 존나 족사야 그 치르즈나 dimsum 총시지 다는 당상 다리가 다 짐직 받소이나 잠자제 오늘다 옛날에 때 출리그 소르긴데 가수 장마가 그거 다 텔라 다리가 다 접그르시고
So these days, some of the graduate students in Tibet, they're writing about Islamic traditions, the Indian or Hindu traditions. And they say, oh, among the Islamic traditions, one do not consume pork. Some people say, oh, you can consume pork in certain regions. And then other Tibetans who read about Hindu religion, they only mention about the Hindu followers not consuming buffalo meat. And that's pretty much what they discuss.
당아초 회나 나와 상기비 출리들라야 그런 거 다리 소르긴다는 그런 거야 따와 모시고 건데 다 따와 모시고나 다 텔라야 드네 지금 마오하나 드네 쇼소소 롭자 침모다나 게르겐이나자 롬마이나자 다 짐지 시요네급나 데 초랑 추 공르거 드네 야종다나 추 그런 거 로지다나 추 그런 거 드네 다티 추근 낭동거 된데 초다리 고기다 사로즈다 드네 시기다 할레바 가르침보레
So for the Buddhist scholars, I just wanted to emphasize again, it's very important to truly try to understand the tradition well, and including the view of that teaching, and both the scholars and students really paying attention to the background, both religious and cultural background of the subject, the historical background and so on, and paying more attention in this area would really help to improve the research. And then I go back to one sentence when Kempa talked about the people writing on Hindu teachings. I mean, more and more people are showing respect to other religion. Like we understand the Hindus do not consume buffalo meat, the Muslims do not consume pork, and so people respect to these teachings, right? Likewise, we also need to show respect to the unique traditions of the Buddhism too.
시동 나초데라 딱시지나 다테 땅들 연구어 좀더 내가 송원나래 게르동 딱금 캐는 게 접지다리 서전다 랑샤인게 기프시르만 데니 그거 딱 접지다리 서전다는 가입간다 그 랑샤인 막도 제가 가 좀던데 초 게르근 쳔보리지이단 다 기박을 거고 그 연구어 문제이다나 다다리 과가 낙사로즈도 셔리온.
And for the researchers, I think it's fun that we analyze, we study Buddhism. This is because the Buddha himself mentioned about the monks and scholars. Please examine my teaching like you would examine a piece of gold. I want you to examine it and then practice it. I just do not want kind of a mere respect to the teaching. So Buddha gave us this kind of permission to exam, and we are doing the right thing. We're following that teaching, that's sure.
드네 지금 공금 개발서 것도 제원을 내돈 논을 람 계장 냠용 전기 남주를 벽시한다 공박직던 배우지 드네 다 니바 돈기 롱당을 발람 개바다 드네 라랑라 냠용요나 뜻다빈 개바디 드네 직된 그 시샤 강당 강바나라나 드네 라라양 판바요나다 잔라양 판바요나 드네 타득 땅 아초가 드네 지금 냠len 쉐네나 드네 지 창마도 공바티 좀 가라면나 되면은 다지 창마데 가라다 창마데 나와 잘랑소나 드네 라양 기포였는 말에 드네 잠볼랑 때라요나 시지 여화다린 적도는 말에 대네나 마수 로종시 비게름 거 초인난자 짐직시 비게름 거 초인난자 드네 다 길그 요도 쪽 탐칠라 판바줄게 양낭 아춘 조아 못 참말라 드네 깊은 거 챘더는 드네 다 로종시 지원도 나랑 거 따츠르건 거니나 할레바다리 가르침보레 상가요.
So I think when we engage in research studies, when we study in general, it's very important that we cultivate the right intention. I think the right intention is really to bring benefit to the humanity. Through your research, try to bring some direct benefit to yourself if you can practice what you research, and the teaching as a result of that experience to others. And then that will really bring I think, benefit out of your research. And as mentioned by a Tibetan teacher, that when you engage in study of dharmas, you really have to study both the relative and the definitive meaning of the teaching, and then you experience it by practicing, putting this teaching in practices. And once you really earned the experience, and then if you preach or teach this to others, it wouldn't really create any conflict. It would only bring benefit. This is, I think, maybe correct way of approaching how we really study Buddhism. Otherwise, if you only use the lens of critical thinking and try to study the teaching, you constantly would find contradictions among the teaching and between the teachings. And that creates more problem rather than solution to the humanity.
다 때랑 네 같이한데 양 무서거 드네 다 된자 다리가 오추고 점지게 난다가 드는 자원랑 그 추고 점지 걸고 그네나 드네 다 같이 대장도 신인 드네 직도 창마가 드네 연등 그 런거 셈데 드네 르나르도 팝네 다 초와가 초고 쇼름 강당 강이나 드네 지금 잠바 침보 매네 시집근가 초라 잠바다나 드네 냥도 열고 원래다 옛나야 탈적네 하정 탈체와가 그건 잠바데요나 와초라다리 등물게 거나리 대연네나 드네 지 다셈 열지스 맘장아 셈 랑거 랑 다린 섭터께서 셈 랑거 랑더 탑께서 다니에 도금 고인데 잔타스 좀 건도 겨르되오네 랑거 셈데 랑거 ጾ터께서나 드네 다리가 초알아 칼로게르도나다 와초 다리가 조아미 다리가 드네 지고 데치텔라야나 랑기 롱수쇼도 디레 대연네나 더 참마가 된다가 다리가 다 삼서텔라 드네 라나 소송원에 다 문자왔어요나 드네 그 저와들랑 거kap스다가 반전 조나시 조고.
So the above discussion was about how you engage in the study Tibetan Buddhism. And then finally, I wanted to conclude, going back to the original topic, how we can generate calm and peace in this kind of conflict world. My kind of advice is that we really need to engage in more inner qualities, studying your own kind of a mind, try to engage in less, paying less attention to superficial things, but really try to be your own master. The secret to really calm mind is try to control your mind. Buddha Shakyamuni said, you are your own master. Likewise, if we really engage with this kind of attitude in sharpening our mind, then I think we will gradually improve our mental mind kind of strength and to bring more sustainable, calm and peaceful mind. So I wanted to basically conclude here. We have a question and answer time later, so if you have any questions about these, or if you disagree to some of the discussion that I initiated, we can discuss them during the question and answer session. Thank you.